Welcome to Augustana Sportscene. This is your weekly look inside Augie Athletics. I'm your host, Carla Metts. Now, since last season, Augustana has undergone a big change. As of September 1st, Augustana College has transformed into Augustana University. And there's been a lot of excitement over the change, but no worries for some, it's still the same Augie. Well, the Viking season is well underway and off to a great start. Football head coach Jerry Olszewski and his team are 2-0 for the season with a win against Bemidji State 35-14 and a win against St. Cloud State 41-27 with a career day by Charlie Hayes. Volleyball head coach Dan Meske and his team are coming off 4 big wins from the Augustana Volleyball Showcase and wrapped up with a win against number 8 Grand Valley. The cross-country team hosted their Augustana Twilight Meet at Yankton Trail Park earlier this month and were led by Leah Sievert in the women's division. We'll catch up with all of these coaches to recap the beginning of their season. After the break, we'll meet with head coach Jerry Olszewski to talk about all things football. Be sure to stay tuned. You're watching Augustana Sportscene.
The specialists are so important because they're the ones that can take your team from average to great. The guys that have their specialized roles and understand them and do them really well, those guys are hard to find. And so when you have those guys that are good at what they do and believe in what they're doing, don't care too much about who gets the credit and want to go out and prove something, I think that that is probably the most important ingredient in a successful team.
Choose the experts. Choose Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine.
You want more from your home improvement store? Don't waste your entire weekend wandering through a maze of aisles and crowds trying to find some newbie big box store employee who's avoiding you and your questions like Bigfoot avoids photographers. Head to Schoenemann's instead, where you'll find answers and everything you need without the hassle, hoopla, and headaches. From questions to complete projects, look to the experts at Schoenemann's, Sioux Falls, and Harrisburg.
Moms and dads, want to make sure that your kid is prepared for school picture day? First order of business, our clothes. Help them pick out clothes and colors that look good on them. Because sometimes the picture shows more than just this, you know?
After all, you're gonna have that picture forever.
Remember, smiles are like French fries. They're better when they're fresh. Bottom line, the Life Touch team will make sure everything runs smoothly. So picture day will be fun and exciting for everybody.
Football head coach Jerry Olszewski is in his 3rd year here at Augie, and he teaches his guys faith, family, and football. But this year, he's trying to teach his guys how to finish in all aspects of the game, whether that be in workouts or practice. The Vikings had a great offseason and are already 2-0 for the season. We meet with Brad Peterson and Coach OJ now.
Well, Jerry, off to a 2-0 start, one of the big keys coming into this season is replacing some on defense. That front seven, so tenacious last year. It's the part of the team this year that's going to really rise up and stand for Augustana.
Yeah, we're young up front. We lost 5 of those 7 kids due to graduation, but with that youth comes some energy. We rotate 4 guys in at the defensive tackle and nose spot, and Bryson Hamilton is back at defensive end, and then Zach Richter's playing well with Zach Johnson on the other side. So Brandon Moore's the staple, our Mike linebacker. He's basically the coach of our defense. He really does such a tremendous job. And then Jackson Rinda and Steve Miller, the 2 seniors that have been waiting their opportunity for 3 years, have been given it and now really run with it, especially Steven. I mean, he's just playing lights out.
Season opener on the road at Bemidji, 35-14 victory, a good way to start the year.
It was. Bemidji's a tough road win to start off, a night game, and we had a little bit of weather involved, and humid night. We had some guys cramping a little bit, but I'm just so proud of our team to start on the right note. Played extremely well in special teams, obviously, with Jason breaking a school mark, 100-yard touchdown run on the kickoff return. So I'm just excited for him. And then defense, we really played well. We were 6 for 6 on 4th down. And just got off the field on the money down situations. Offensively, it wasn't our best game. But we did enough. We were efficient enough to score on a couple long fields and then get set up by special teams and defense on the other one.
Then last week here at KO, home opener, Charlie Hayes in these highlights, junior wideout. 11 pass receptions, 266 yards in the victory against St. Cloud State. Arguably one of your biggest wins here in the third year. Yeah, it probably is. You know, St. Cloud State is such a royal tradition and an old NCC rival. These kids don't understand what that is, but to us that have been around and coached in that league, we understand the tradition that happens in this game, and they're a much improved football team. Offensively, I was so impressed by what they did, and Nate Meyer and just conducting what he did. I think he was 30 for 38. But defensively, we played better in the second half. You know, we got off the field half the times in the second half and got a turnover and got them down on downs and just create opportunities. But offensively, 7 of 8 possessions we scored on. You know, punted 1 time in the game, and you know, I don't count the victory formation. That's staying on the field and then in the game, and that's what I'm really proud of the most is how we finished the game. We didn't do that last year. You know, the defense got off the field, and offensively, we were able to not let their offense back on the field, and that's really important in this level. And if you're going to try to be a playoff team, it's important down the road. Yeah, and defensively, you gave up some third downs in this contest that if you get those third downs in your favor, boy, it shortens up the game and it puts a little different spin on it. It does. You know, time of possession at halftime was down. They almost had 22 minutes of possession, and we went up in the half. You know, we had the ball for less than 8 minutes. Third down has been a really good down for our defense, and they were making it by a half yard. And credit to St. Cloud. They had an excellent game plan. They really did some things well. Their players played well. It's not like we played poorly. I just think they made some plays that were pretty dynamic, honestly, and Charlie is a prime example of our kids making plays. I mean, those were contested pass plays that he had to come down with the football. Trey put it in a perfect spot for him. If you were at the game, that was an exciting tale to watch. Coach, going into this road game against Minnesota State Moorhead, it'll be such an imperative, again, to keep Trey Hyde clean and off his backside as Augustana looks to go on the road against the Dragons. It is, and that's the thing that what did happen in this last game was our offensive line, they pressured a lot. They really did. You know, St. Cloud's a pressure team, so is Moorhead. They're going to bring the heat, and our offensive line did not give up a single sack on the day, and just Trey had time to throw in the pocket. That's going to be really critical in this game as we head into Moorhead to be able to keep Trey clean and continue to emphasize our run game. You know, we want to be a balanced football team. We want to be 50-50 on play call, but at the same time, if you're going to load the box and bring the heat, we're going to max it up and be able to go to work a little bit. And I'm just really proud of Trey and how he managed that football game. You know, Charlie 1 yard away from the school record on that day, but Trey really manufactured that game and managed it in a way that he got us into protections we needed to be in. He understood where we were isolated and had good matchups, and our offensive line played extremely well, and is going to need to again against Moorhead. And then defensively, do the same thing you did against St. Cloud, and that is limit a run game. And again, skilled players that are at the senior level for Minnesota State Moorhead, they've got some important ones. They do, and they've played a lot of downs for them. You know, we were here 2 years ago, and now as we go on the road and look at them, that's going to be one of those deals where they're excited. They got a new field, you know, Shields Field, and played really well against Winona. They had a miraculous win last weekend against Concordia St. Paul, and literally on a buzzer beater. So they're pretty sky high right now, starting 2-0 as well, and we're going to have to be able to keep our emotions in check and make sure that those skilled athletes don't make the big plays. You know, the average plays we can defend, and we're a bend but don't break defense. You know, the last time I checked, yards don't win a game, score does. All right, Jerry, look forward to the rest of the season. Thank you very much. Thanks so much, Brad. Fight on.
Thanks, Brad. And like they said, the Vikings play Minnesota State Moorhead at 1 o'clock on September 19th, and you can follow all of the action at GoAugie.com. After the break, we'll get an inside look to Augustana Volleyball with Coach Meske. We'll be right back.
Noah, are you about ready to go? Don't forget your football.
Thanks, Mom.
You promised to never miss a game, and with iMed Mobility, you never have to. From handicap accessible vans to wheelchair lifts and driving aids, iMed makes it easier to be there for all of life's important moments. iMed Mobility, providing life-changing experiences for all our customers.
Being part of a great team means you know your role and you work your role to the best of your ability. If you're consistently going to show up and be your best, you're going to be part of that team. You can see the success they have over time. It's not just 1 year flash in the pan, it's consistent success over time, which makes them great. And that's where the work ethic comes in. The ability to come into work, do the same thing repeatedly, day after day after day, and putting your best foot forward is going to separate you from the rest.
Choose the experts. Choose Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine.
The Volkswagen Passat Limited Edition. Dollar for dollar, it's an amazing value. Let's add up the worth of its standard features, like a rear-view camera, keyless access, heated front seats, and more.
But what really tips the scales is that you get all this value for this surprisingly low price. That's $1,200 in savings. I usually hate being on scales, but this is nice.
At Graham Automotive, West 41st Street, Sioux Falls, or online at grahamvw.com.
The Augustana family is welcoming new volleyball head coach Dan Meske. Coach Meske is coming to us from the University of Nebraska, and he says that recruiting brought him here, but the support that he's received has solidified his decision to become a Viking. We join Brad Peterson and Coach Meske now to talk about the start of this season.
Well, Dan, hired back in May, what brought you to this job at Augustana?
Well, there was a lot of things that attracted me to the job here. The number one was I had been recruiting this area for 3-4 years, and just seeing the talent kind of start to explode. And in starting to kind of research the schools around this area, you just kind of found that Augie is the school that if kids want to stay close to home, that's the school for them. So I thought there was a lot of opportunity in recruiting. So that was the initial thing that attracted me to Augustana. Then once I got to know the administration and the support we have here, it was just a home run.
Sure. 8 years as an assistant in the Nebraska Cornhuskers program. What were you excited to bring to Augustana with that experience?
Yeah, that experience was a lot of great competition. Got to play in the Big 10, the Big 12. There was a lot of great experiences there, but as far as bringing experiences to Augustana, I really just felt like my time at Nebraska really just prepared me to learn more about myself, who I am as a coach, and I just felt really confident coming in that I knew the direction that I wanted to go, and more importantly, who I was as a coach. So all those experiences really just challenged me to learn more about myself as a coach and get more focused on, what's important to me and what do I want to bring to Augustana.
Collegiately, you had a chance to play at Ohio State. How do you feel that plays into your favor as now a coach and a former player?
Yeah, well, originally applying for the job, a lot of people talked to me about going from D1 to D2, Nebraska, big school, to a small liberal arts school. And I thought playing at Ohio State, playing men's volleyball there was very, very little support. So we had the 18-hour bus rides. We had, we really paid our dues. We paid for a lot of our gear. So when people asked me about how are you going to go from Nebraska to Ohio State, I said, listen, I've been on every end of the spectrum here with volleyball, so I'm definitely prepared for that. So I thought, having that opportunity to be a student athlete and balance all that, I think helps you in relating to the student athlete that you're coaching, but more importantly, just the experience of having Nebraska, where there was just beyond support that you would ever, want for a volleyball program, to, Ohio State, a men's volleyball program where, we were doing fundraising and doing all that. I thought it was great to just have my hand in both of those kind of areas.
You've also told me that this facility and this program is ahead of a lot in the country.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, and that was one of the things that I wouldn't say shocked me, but certainly surprised me when I got here and got to experience Augustana firsthand, because, I would say a rough estimate, 70 to 80% of volleyball programs are sharing facilities or competition facilities with basketball in some respect, whether it's men's or women's. And to have, this awesome basketball practice facility, and then to have the competition facility downtown, and then volleyball's got access to 4 courts, right on campus. It kind of blew me away, because some of the biggest challenges in volleyball is just kind of balancing the other sports that you're competing with to get your court time, to get a practice on a competition day, and just to see the access that we have to our facility. Our offices are right next to it. To me, I couldn't have envisioned a better situation as far as the support for volleyball.
Off to a 7-1 start, including 4 wins in the Augustana Showcase this past weekend, including a 4-set victory over then 8th-ranked Grand Valley State. Talk to us about how the beginning of the season has gone.
It's been a roller coaster ride. One of our stronger returning players, Ashley Wilson's been out with an ankle injury and is slowly recovering from that. And then Bailey Cook, who started last year as well, is going to be redshirting with a knee injury. So add that to Courtney Easker from last year, who carried a huge offensive load. We've got 3 players that really haven't played for us in the first 2 weekends. So for me, that's been fun to see all these kids step up with new and exciting opportunities for them. So for us to be 7-1 and have all these new opportunities for our players, just thought that has been a really, really fun experience. Grand Valley in particular, That coach has been around for 20 plus years. She's won a national championship. She's been to I don't know how many Final Fours. So that match in particular was great to see kind of some holes that we had, because that coach, you could tell they had a great prep for us, and we learned a lot about ourselves. It was nice to come away with a win, but we also learned a whole lot about how teams are going to attack us. And I thought that was great heading into our conference season, where we've got legendary coaches every weekend that we're going to play. They're going to exploit the things that we're not doing well. So it was nice to have that test before we went into conference.
Solid defense and serve receive can really launch a team, especially early in the year when you're trying to maybe cover up for some of the pieces that you're missing. And sophomore libero in Taylor Banks from Omaha has certainly been a key.
Yeah, Taylor, when we played Washburn and unfortunately lost in 5 sets, she had 50 digs, which I had never seen or been a part of in coaching 40 digs, let alone 50. I've never seen a 4 before, another number on the dig line. So I told the girls after that it would have been nice to come away with a win, but I had never seen anything like that in coaching or in playing. So it was pretty cool to see that from Taylor. Add to that Brittany Check, who also kind of splits the serve receive responsibilities. We kind of feel like we have 2 of the best liberos on the court, where really you can only play 1 libero. Luckily, Brittany can hit as well. So we really feel like that defense it's one of our stronger points, and something that with Brittany and Taylor on the court, all 6 rotations, it's a real advantage for us.
And then a big week coming up. You've got Southwest Minnesota State. You've got the University of Sioux Falls. Both teams off to a good start too.
Yeah, and that's what I'm looking forward to with our conferences. Night in and night out, you have to play great on your side. So for me in particular, the first I'm ever going to see these teams live is when we play them. So I can watch them on film and we can break some things down, but we're really focused on our side of the net. We talk a lot this year about a faceless opponent. Let's play the best brand of volleyball that we can play. So having the opportunity to play Southwest, who was in the national championship last year, is really, that's a great opportunity to start your conference season, and then to follow that up with your local in-town rival. It's a great way to start the conference season. We're really excited about it.
All right, thanks a lot, Dan.
Thanks, Brad. Well, there's definitely a lot to look forward to for the rest of their season. Augie Volleyball's next match is against Southwest Minnesota, September 17th at home. You're watching Augustana Sportscene. We'll be right back.
Cleaning hard water spots is hard. Make sure your water softener is working properly. No matter what brand you own, your Culligan man will inspect and check your softener. For this special offer, call and say, "Hey, Culligan man."
The specialists are so important because they're the ones that can take your team from average to great. The guys that have their specialized roles and understand them and do them really well, those guys are hard to find. And so when you have those guys that are good at what they do and believe in what they're doing, don't care too much about who gets the credit, and want to go out and prove something, I think that is probably the most important ingredient in a successful team.
Choose the experts. Choose Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine.
You want more from your home improvement store? Don't waste your entire weekend wandering through a maze of aisles and crowds trying to find some newbie big box store employee who's avoiding you and your questions like Bigfoot avoids photographers. Head to Schoenemann's instead, where you'll find answers and everything you need without the hassle, hoopla, and headaches. From questions to complete projects, look to the experts at Schoenemann's, Sioux Falls, and Harrisburg.
Welcome back to Augustana Sportscene. We're here at Yankton Trail Park, where the 5th annual Augustana Twilight Cross Country Meet was held on September 4th. Bill Gross caught up with cross-country head coach Tracy Hellman to talk about last season and the expectations for this year.
Well, Tracy Hellman, we're back. 16 years as the cross-country coach at Augustana. You don't look a day over 21. Talk about what it's been like for 16 years.
It's gone fast. When you say that, I don't realize it's been that long. But I think about all the experiences and the teams we've had, and it's been a great run, and we've got a lot of alumni and coaches that have been part of the success that we've had, and we're very proud of that fact, and looking forward to the future and what that will bring.
And big news for Tracy, July 4th this summer, a married man. Congratulations on that.
Thanks a lot.
All right, well, let's talk Augustana cross country, Tracy. The Vikings, traditionally a very, very strong program here for many, many years. Last year, 6th consecutive NSIC men's championship, 3rd at the NCAA national championships, and the women winning the championship for the 6th time in 7 years, and they're finishing 5th at NC2As. Talk about last season.
It was definitely a good season coming to the end. We always have high expectations amongst our program, and it always starts with the conference championships. And so we felt that we had an opportunity to win both men and women, and we were able to do that. And we rode that momentum onto the regional championships, where our men won their 3rd straight regional title, and our women got second to a very good Duluth team. But we bounced back really well at the nationals to capture 3rd in men and 5th in the women. And so that was the 6th straight year we've had both squads in the top 7 nationally. And obviously we have high goals, and we're going to keep marching down that road till we got both squads contending to win the national title.
Well, there's a lot that goes into having those kinds of teams and the success that you've had. Talk a little bit about all the parts of putting that puzzle together.
Yeah, it starts with having good assistants, and we have some really good assistants right now. And our main track assistant, Coach Greg Benstock, but our main cross-country assistant is Scott Tanis, and he's done a very good job of identifying the kids that fit our model and our type of program, and then bringing them in and developing that culture. And so we have great senior leadership, and I think they've done a very excellent job of showing the ropes to the young kids, and so we might graduate kids, but we don't necessarily have to rebuild. We just the next man up, next lady up. And so that's really, I think, the really key point. We really have a very strong team culture, and I think that shows in how we perform at a championship level race.
Fabulous success for the Vikings, and we're off and running this year again. The highly successful Twilight Meet held right here behind me at Yankton Trail Park in Sioux Falls last Friday evening. Spectacular event, Tracy. You're the guy that got that thing started, what now, 4 or 5 years ago?
It's 5th year now, and it's getting bigger every year. And this is the biggest we've had. We had 27 colleges. We had 31 high schools attend. That was our largest field ever. We felt that it went very well. We're attracting very good teams. All the top high school teams in South Dakota attend, along with some out-of-state schools. We attracted 3 Division I schools to come down. University of Nebraska was kind of the headliner on there. And then it was a great opportunity for us to showcase in front of our home fans our teams. And it's a little bit of a double-edged sword because we're never quite ready for our best performance on our first meet of the year. But it's really just a way to kind of open up the season. And if you were here, if people were here, you saw glow sticks, you saw music, you saw excitement. It's a different atmosphere for a cross-country meet, and that's what we hope to create. Okay, Tracy, well, talk about your teams this year. How are we going to be? Well, we're ranked currently, men are ranked 3rd nationally, and our women are ranked 5th. And I do feel that we have the pieces in place to even go higher than that. We have a veteran squad in the men. We returned 5 out of our 7 from last year's 3rd place team. So we feel that maybe we're in the conversation as a team that can contend for the national title. And we know it's going to be a hard road, and we have to have everything come together. But we do have a very veteran squad in our men led by Harold Carbo, who's the reigning regional champion, and he was 6th at the national last year. We also have a couple returning All-Americans in Glenn Ellingson and Nathan Hauge. And so you add that to our other veterans coming back, we feel our men are going to be up there at the national level. Our women's a little bit different type of a team. We're very young, but we're led by 2 of the best young ladies in Division II, Leah Seivert and Andy Cruz. Leah won the Twilight in dominating fashion this last Friday night, and I do think she's going to contend for the individual national title. And we supplement those 2 with some young newbies, I guess, new kids, but yep. I think they're going to be pretty good. Okay, well, Tracy, let's finish it up here with talk a little bit about what's coming up in the schedule. Our next big invite is the Roy Griak Invitational. It's one of the largest cross-country meets in the nation. It's held in Minneapolis, hosted by University of Minnesota. That'll be our first real test, I guess. And then we don't necessarily race again with our top kids till the conference, and that's back in Minneapolis on October 24th. And then we go from there, regionals 2 weeks later, and the nationals 2 weeks later. One thing fans will find with our program, we race very light, but I always tell my fans and my athletes is nobody remembers what you do in September. They remember what you do at November, and that's when we shine at championship time. Well, we sure have shined, and I know we're going to shine again. Tracy, thanks for being with us. Good luck to you and your teams.
And like Coach Hellman said, with the men ranked 3rd and the women ranked 5th, I think we can expect a lot out of the cross-country team this year. The next Augie cross-country meet is the Roy Griak in Minneapolis on September 26th. We'll be right back after the break.
Moms and dads, want to make sure that your kid is prepared for school picture day? First order of business, our clothes. Help them pick out clothes and colors that look good on them.
Because sometimes a picture shows more than just this, you know? After all, you're gonna have that picture forever.
Remember, smiles are like French fries. They're better when they're fresh. Bottom line, the Life Touch team will make sure everything runs smoothly. So picture day will be fun and exciting for everybody.
Noah, are you about ready to go?
Don't forget your football.
Thanks, Mom.
You promised to never miss a game, and with iMed Mobility, you never have to. From handicap-accessible vans to wheelchair lifts and driving aids, iMed makes it easier to be there for all of life's important moments. iMed Mobility, providing life-changing experiences for all our customers.
Being part of a great team means you know your role and you work your role to the best of your ability. If you're consistently going to show up and be your best, you're going to be part of that team. You can see the success they have over time. It's not just 1 year flash in the pan, it's consistent success over time, which makes them great. And that's where the work ethic comes in. The ability to come into work, do the same thing repeatedly day after day after day, and putting your best foot forward is going to separate you from the rest.
Choose the experts. Choose Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine.
The Volkswagen Passat Limited Edition. Dollar for dollar, it's an amazing value. Let's add up the worth of its standard features, like a rear-view camera, keyless access, heated front seats, and more.
But what really tips the scales is that you get all this value for this surprisingly low price. That's $1,200 in savings. I usually hate being on scales, but this is nice.
At Graham Automotive, West 41st Street, Sioux Falls, or online at grahamvw.com.
Cleaning hard water spots is hard. Make sure your water softener is working properly. No matter what brand you own, your Culligan man will inspect and check your softener. For this special offer, call and say, "Hey, Culligan man."
And here's a look at the week ahead for the Augustana Vikings. Keep up with all the latest information on the Vikings at GoAugie.com. I'm your host, Carla Metts. We'll see you next week.